Oh, it's home sweet home. This is the perfect list for me because I grew up just outside of Vancouver. I have definitely heard about a few urban legends from the city from just being in such close proximity to the place. Well, today I'm going to share with you some of the wildest legends I've heard about this famous city and some of my favorites that I have pulled off the internet. Hello again, Most Amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Jay Arena, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Today we will head over to the West Coast to find out what Vancouver has to offer other than skiing and great wine with our list of top 10 scary Vancouver urban legends. If any of you at home want some more top 10 content, you should check us out on Instagram and Facebook and stick around until the end of this list because I'm going to be reading out some questions from my Instagram inbox. If you want to ask me a question, you can hit me up through the gram. Without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have the Red Lady at the Fairmont Hotel. Let's kick off this list with a classic. Not just a classic in the home of Vancouver, but a classic in the home of the urban legend community. If you're a fan of urban legend videos, then you will hear almost every city on the planet has some sort of ghostly lady in a dress. Sometimes it's a red dress, sometimes it's a blue dress. It's actually often a white dress, but a ghostly attraction is really never complete without one. And the Fairmont Hotel in Vancouver is home to a famous lady in red. She has been seen walking through the hotel so often that you can go to the hotel bar and order a drink that is named after her. That's a good way to be remembered. Also, don't drink too many of those or you're gonna end up walking back to your room cross-eyed, and if you run into her, you won't have the cognitive function to get away. But apparently, this ghostly lady is actually very friendly. If you see her, she often is just strolling down the halls and won't do anything to trouble you. Maybe if you run into her, you should extend your hand and ask her for a dance. Coming in at number 9, we have the Night Chopper. Years ago, rumors started to float around about a guy who was patrolling the streets of downtown Vancouver. He would look for drunk people and offer them rides home. Some say he would also try and pick up prostitutes. The mysterious thing is once these people were seen getting into the brown low-riding Cadillac, they would never be seen again. What would happen to them? What did the mysterious person who got the moniker the Night Chopper do with them? Some people suspect that this could have actually been the famous serial killer Willie Pickton, who would pick up prostitutes and then murder them and then feed their body parts to pigs. Who knows, this could have been an urban legend that was created as part of this insane person, or maybe the Night Chopper is a separate person altogether who still patrols the streets late at night looking for someone in need to take advantage of. Coming in at number 8, we have the UBC HITCHHIKER. UBC is one of the most famous, prestigious schools in all of Canada, and outside of being a great place to get an education and being close to the famous Wreck Beach, there's also the story of the UBC HITCHHIKER. Apparently, along a road leading towards the school, you might see a young woman who's waiting on the side of the road with her thumb out. It seems that this young lady needs a ride and is stranded in the middle of the night. You would have to be a very cold soul to not pull over and pick her up. When you pull over, she will come over to the side of your car and she will tell you that she needs a ride to the UBC library. A little strange request for the middle of the night. She will have a short conversation with you in your car, and then right when you're close to the library, she will vanish into thin air. Some say this is just a story, while others claim that the UBC HITCHHIKER has actually climbed into their passenger seat. Apparently, this is the ghost of a young girl who was hit by a car and killed while she was walking along the road at night. Coming in at number 7, we have the Old Spaghetti Factory ghosts. The Old Spaghetti Factory is a nice little Vancouver tourist trap that has been in the city forever. Apparently, because of its long-standing history with the city, a few ghosts have decided to call this place home. Inside this restaurant sits an old decommissioned trolley car from the 1950s. Well, if you want to see a ghost, apparently the best thing to do is post up next to this trolley car because several ghosts have been seen sitting in this trolley. It makes sense. It would be nice to see something familiar when you're a dead ghost. And it's not only sightings that give people the creeps in this restaurant. Apparently, ghosts are quick to learn your name and shout it out as you sit as your table, which might be kind of annoying. Like, dude, I'm trying to eat food over here. Just let me chill and enjoy my meal. You can spook me out later. Coming in at number 6, we have Sasquatch. Vancouver is surrounded by a massive wooded area. There is so much forest there that you can get lost and never be found. So it should be no surprise that there have been plenty of Sasquatch sightings. The big hairy ape man has been spotted enough to have Bigfoot hunters go through the hills of British Columbia every year to try and find the creature for themselves. Tracks have been spotted, hair has been found, and apparently some people have even been attacked by a massive hairy creature, which was probably a bear. Coming in at number 5, we have rabid beavers. This is probably the most Canadian urban legend I have ever heard of in my life, but apparently next to the waters in Vancouver or in some rivers and streams streams and wooded areas, there were reports of rabid beavers, big toothed mammals that would chase you down and chomp through your legs like it was a fresh log. I don't really think this one is true. I've never heard about this ever before in my life, but apparently the internet claims this one is true. I've never experienced this for myself, and I'm pretty sure that this point is just internet trolls trying to have a good laugh, but the idea of this brought a smile to my face. Just people running from some beavers. The idea of a horror movie centered around beavers, that all sounds so great to me. Also, if you run into a beaver, you should keep your distance. They can be very aggressive. That's a little Canadian tip for you. Coming in at number 4, we have the Pink Pearl. There is a famous restaurant in Vancouver called the Pink Pearl. From the outside, this place looks like a cement brick, but there are always some of the most expensive cars parked in the parking lot. Apparently, this place is one of the best kept secrets in Vancouver, as it is one of the nicest Asian restaurants in the whole city, but is also a gang meeting place. Some of the biggest, most powerful triads from all over Vancouver come and meet and strike deals in this place without anyone knowing. Coming in at number 3, we have the Vogue Theatre Ghosts. This is one of the most popular spots in Vancouver if you wanted to see a live show. Of course, Corona happened and I no longer know the state of this place, but there must be a few ghosts in there that are feeling pretty lonely. One of the hidden features of the Vogue Theatre are a couple of ghosts that love to pull pranks on guests. They must be sitting around now waiting for people to show up. There was one ghost that would like to sit next to people dressed in a full tux and then disappear. Yeah, that's the kind of shock you want right before you see a live performance. Great, now I get to watch this whole Kill a Mike concert with piss in my pants. Another ghost wouldn't only stick to freaking out guests, but he would venture into the dressing area and create loud noises to freak out the performers. That's one way to get you alert and ready to perform. Coming in at number 2, we have Riverview Hospital. Just outside of Vancouver in the city of Coquitlam is the somewhat famous Riverview Hospital. It got its claim to fame for being one of the places that the X-Files would film at. And I don't know if they intentionally selected a place that had something supernatural going on, if shooting an episode of the X-Files would just bring out something creepy, or if it's all just a coincidence, but the now shut down Riverview Hospital is considered one of the most haunted places in Canada. Running as a mental institution for years, even while it was open, there were stories of screams coming from empty rooms, entities crawling on walls, and a horrible stench that would engulf people and make them feel sick. Today the place is closed, but those who have something to say to the devil himself can make a trip in there and see what horrors await them. And coming in at the number 1 spot is the Foot Bandit. So here's something very creepy that I remember from when I was a kid. So for whatever reason, along a river in Vancouver, human feet started popping up. Like, excuse me, what? Like, was there a cemetery close to the river and feet were just falling into it? Was there a bunch of bodies that were found that belonged to the feet? Was it always both feet that were found? Well, no, no, and no. Some of the bodies that belonged to these feet were discovered, but many of them weren't. Also, they never tracked down who was responsible for throwing these feet into the river. So it was suspected that some sort of bandit was out there that was killing people and cutting off their feet. The reason that only one foot would ever show up was possibly because he or she would keep the foot as a trophy. I don't even know why I said she. It's almost always a dude. Alright everyone, that has been our list, and now as promised I'm going to read out some questions. InfiniteMy24 wrote in and asked, what year would you travel to? If I could time travel, I'd go to the future, probably like 100 years in the future. You don't want to go too far in the future because who knows when it gets to like that nuclear wasteland stage. But if you go like 100 years in the future, it would probably just be like way better tech and better food, and everyone would be nicer because it seems like throughout time we always become nicer and more accepting. But I don't think I would go back in time for anything. Old things are old, baby. I ain't got no time for that. Flaming Marshmallow wrote in and asked, if a tomato is a fruit, is ketchup jam? Well, there's a lot going on over here. Not all fruits that are crushed and then used as a sauce are considered jam, and I don't think that ketchup has the consistency to be considered a jam, but it is sweet even though most people don't think about that, but I would have to say no on this one. And finally, GVan21 wrote in and asked, will you ever visit the UK, and what is your favorite Marvel movie? I think one day I will definitely come to the UK. When that will happen, I have no idea because travel isn't the easiest thing in the world right now, but it will happen down the road. Now, what is my favorite Marvel movie? That is hard to say. I would go with either Winter Soldier or Infinity War. Winter Soldier is just a fun movie from start to finish, and they definitely do a good job of making Captain America fun to watch. And Infinity War is probably the best action movie of all time and has some of the best action scenes, except for the ending of Endgame. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Jay Dorena, and go check out Vancouver. It's great. No one will take your feet. But But it's hard to call yourself. It's actually often a white dress, but it's a. It's actually often a white dress, but it's actually often a white dress, but a ghostly attraction is.